Welcome back to the grind for another Cavalier event quest guide. This is the Shang-Chi boss, and Shang-Chi as a defender is not that challenging, but he has some nodes that do make it a bit problematic. So every time you parry, you'll get disoriented. Bob and weave is all the defender's attacks are guaranteed crits, but it goes on a short cooldown if you dodge or intercept. And then vital strikes. Every time he attacks into a block, the defender regenerates 500% of the damage dealt, which is going to be a lot, especially because he's going to be critting through blocks. And then now you see me every 10 seconds, the attacker is inflicted with a falter. Unless you keep hitting him, then it refreshes. So you want to hit him at least every 10 seconds, but we also have to deal with an unstoppable buff that comes up every 9 seconds and lasts for 3 seconds. So there's several different ways you can play this. You'll have to work around different things depending on who you bring. You can bring a counter for unstoppable, which would take out one of the more painful factors of this fight. Or, for example, someone like Wasp that is able to give essentially almost a whole bar of power with each combo because you can chain on the heavy. Then you can push him up over a special one and bait it out because it's really easy to deal with and then counter. And so you don't have to worry as much about taking blocks by parrying, because that will heal him. The one thing you have to consider though is that with that unstoppable buff, you're going to have to break your combo, which means that you will not be able to continue chaining on combos after every single special one, and you will have to rely on parries or intercepts every once in a while. So this, while it does work, doesn't work as perfectly as you might like it to. And since you do have class disadvantage, Wasp maybe isn't the best choice and might not be your go-to option even if you have her. Now, I do not have an example of an unstoppable buff counter, but there are several that would work quite nicely. Some of them are of the science class as well, but it would allow you to time the fight a lot easier. I think She-Hulk would actually be a good option because she can manage power quite nicely and she has easy access to slows, so you don't have to worry about the unstoppable buff, and that will allow you to continue chaining on special attacks and baiting out his special one, which is a very quick and easy special to counter, and building up those furies quite nicely. One of the best options in my opinion is a heal block champion. So Warlock works amazing. If you can't intercept or can't get an in, you can just attack into the block to build up the infections. Obviously you'll have to deal with the falter because if you're not attacking into him directly, it will go on to falter. So you have to worry about that. But once you get up to 20 of those stacks, you'll get him infected and then you can parry as much as you want. And it's really easy to keep the infection active for the entire fight. So you can then let him attack into your block and parry as much as you want. And if Warlock is awakened, you're actually going to get extra damage every time he goes to heal and you block it. You're going to get a degeneration debuff passive actually on him. So I found that Warlock was probably one of the best options for this fight. So if you have him, you might want to consider bringing him in. And I recommend baiting out the special one just because it is so quick and easy to deal with. But the special two also is not that hard. It just means that you're getting less opportunities to counter the special attacks if you continue to push him to the special twos. But it basically just has a few short range attacks and then a jump or kind of like a push forward. Very similar to Sunspot's special 2 in my opinion. And lastly, you really can use any champion for this fight as long as you avoid taking any blocks, which means you can't parry. You can try to bait out heavy attacks in order to get some ins. And I do have a video on how to bait heavy attacks, which I'll link at the end of the video if I can. Otherwise, message me if you're interested. But we have an example of it here. Unfortunately, I get faltered right as I go in to attack him after baiting out the heavy. It's coming up right here, so you want him to block. You dash in, you hold block very shortly, and then back up after he throws his heavy attack. So that is a way that you can get attacks without having to worry about blocking or parrying because that's going to heal him. So there are several different options. Let me know who you used or what champions you thought might work best. I do hope this video is helpful. Good luck, and I will see you in the next video.